You are now listening to the Jay Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay.
Yo. What is the word, people? Welcome to another edition of the Jay Porks Experience. I'm Jay Porks. With me, as always, behind the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast. Help me out pushing the buttons. As every week, is nobody. Got a couple of things to get to today. A couple of random things that I want to talk about. But first, I want to tell you that if you're sitting here listening to my podcast and you haven't gone back and listened to Saturday's episode of The Andy Deer Show, episode 98, Buzz Factory, in which Jack and Dino was interviewed for what I believe is well over a half hour, you need to go check that out immediately. Jack and Dino, Andy Deer. Jack hits on so many cool topics. So many things I hear about that I didn't know about. The guy works with hundreds of bands. Go to Indino.com. Check it out. I mean, get into Skin Yard. Get into, the Afghan Wigs. Get into all the stuff that has Jack and Dino's name on it. Because he's pretty good. Pretty good. I would tell you about some of the stuff he talked about, but then you wouldn't go listen to the podcast. Why would I do that? I seem like a tease, don't I? Not as big of a tease as Phish playing their new album on Halloween instead of covering an album from another band. But I am a casual fan, so I am not one to bitch about that. I just know that a lot of the diehards, well, they were happy. They liked it. This is why Phish is better than your favorite band. Not really. My favorite band is my favorite band because they're my favorite band. Your favorite band is your favorite band because they're your favorite. But I digress for a second. Let's go over a bunch of websites you need to go to keep me in business. You need to go to concertconfessions.com for all your live music news and reviews. That's for the fans. That's by the fans. Fans like you, not people who get free tickets into shows. Right now, if you go to concertconfessions.com, the first picture in the scroll, you'll see Scott Weiland, and it's because Camp Freddy was in town in Washington, D.C. I didn't even know what Camp Freddy was. Camp Freddy's a supergroup containing Zakk Wylde. No, Zakk Wylde performed with the group that night in D.C. at the 930 Club. Zakk Wylde performed with Scott Weiland. Dave Navarro's in the band. They had a bunch of other people. Go check it out. ConcertConfessions.com. It's the first thing you will read there. Tons of good stuff going on the scroll. I also want you to go to ChristinaRocks.com. That's Christina with no H. I was typing it in to Google Chrome, going nuts, wondering what is wrong. Why? I gotta call Christina and tell her that her website's not working. No, I'm just spelling it wrong. Speaking of things not working, you may have seen me tweeting about my netbook. The keyboard is no longer working. You're probably wondering what the science behind that is. I dropped it. That's it. Very simple. But I plugged in a keyboard, and it's working right now. So until I can afford to save up for a new computer, this will have to work. Speaking of saving up for a new computer, if you're listening to this on the AndyDeerShow.com, I want you to click those Amazon ads on top of you and on the side of you and go buy stuff. Because everybody needs stuff. You might as well buy it here. And you know why you're doing that? You might as well do it at Concert Confessions too. You might as well do that at any website I work for. Any website I work for, just buy buy things off Amazon through the website. Help me out. Do you want to hear me come on and complain about making $16 on Sundays during brunch as a waiter? You don't want me to do that. Because that can be real long. Speaking of work, for Halloween, here's what I dressed up as for Halloween. I was a guy wearing a Fountains of Wayne t-shirt, pretending to be in costume so he could escape his waiter monkey suit for a day. My boss was not impressed at all. She really wishes that the day never happened. Was wondering what my costume was. Was very disappointed that I just wore a t-shirt, and I actually took a pair of reading glasses. I poked out the lenses and I put them on. I wish I could wear glasses, but they're so uncomfortable. I think I would look more. I always wanted to wear glasses just to look more intellectual, but wearing glasses with no lenses for 5 minutes, I couldn't even stand it. So intellectual Porks is not. Anyway, ChristinaRocks.com, Hang the DJ. She hosts a radio show on Sunday morning called The Time Warp, where they play old school alternative stuff. That's at 89xradio.com. And let's go. Let me read through the latest this morning. Not this morning, yesterday morning, excuse me. Sunday morning's playlist. Kicked it off with the Velvet Underground for Lou Reed. Rest in peace, Lou Reed, by the way. I'm from New York, so I'm from the East Coast, so I do understand what Lou Reed meant to rock and roll. I'm not one of these. I'm not like Richard Neer for WFAN who says, Lou Reed. I never really was into Lou Reed. I'm not like Richard Neer. I was into Lou Reed. It's a shame that he passed. I won't be. I haven't listened to the Metallica Lou Reed thing, but I should. In the 8 a.m. hour, she also played Violent Femmes, Gone Daddy Gone, Talking Heads, Susie and the Banshees, Dear Prudence, that's awesome. The Smithereens, Only a Memory, I like that. Someone Like You. Concrete Blonde, Joey, I love Local H doing that song, by the way. Look at that! In the 9 a.m. hour, she's got Nirvana. Where did you sleep last night? Pearl Jam's in there too, of course, because I can't escape this band. Pixies, L7. If I didn't work on Sundays, I would listen to this show. And then in the 10 a.m. hour, she kicked it off with. She went Velvet Underground's back to back, Venus in Furs, and There She Goes Again. Then 3 Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side, Dirty Boulevard, and Satellite of Love. And look, Afghan Wigs, Rebirth of the Cool. Did Jack Endino produce that track? You can look it up. Or you can listen to Andy's podcast and hear if Jack produced that album. This 11 a.m. hour kicking it off with New Order. Got R.E.M. Fall on Me, Sugar, If I Could Change Your Mind. If I Can't Change Your Mind, excuse me. Dinosaur Jr., Feel the Pain. Yeah, and you can listen to that every week on 89xradio.com. It's actually 88.7 in Detroit. Well, you can stream it. You can stream it just by going to ChristinaRocks.com, looking at the side of a page, and seeing where it says, "Hey, click to stream here." Other things going on Hang the DJ is, Morrissey treated in an LA hospital for a concussion. The Damned live in Detroit, 1986. Makes me feel old. Gary Newman rocking out with 9 Inch Nails in Florida. So yeah, go to ChristinaRocks.com, check it out. AnnieQuiet.com, your source for quality. And I will not forget that slogan. So remember, you have to go to AnnieQuiet.com if you want to read, everything shits and giggles about every band, every genre. I'll just scroll down the page here. I'm on the front page. Check it out. You can read about the Lightning Bolt album review. Pearl Jam, Lightning Bolt. You can read that. Got 4 stars. I can't believe it only got 4 stars. Cage the Elephant, Melophobia also got 4 stars. I suggested that you buy that last week on Buying or Selling. On Buying or Not Buying. And I got a Buying or Not Buying this week too. It's fairly obvious, but 9 hesitation marks. 9 Inch Nails got 4.5 stars. And Arctic Monkeys got 5 stars. I like this. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But going on at AnnieQuiet.com, you got Day 1 and 2 of the Voodoo Experience in, where is it? New Orleans. Nowlands. And yeah, bands like Pearl Jam, Nine Inch Nails, just to name a couple. Paramore's playing now, I believe, or Paramore played yesterday. Matt and Kim's playing right now. Or Matt and Kim is playing as I'm recording this. And word on the street is that Kim from Matt and Kim can say motherfucker 3 or 4 times while you're sending a 140 character tweet. True story. David Bowie's got, tracks that are, he's got 5 unreleased tracks from his new album The Next Day, but he's releasing The Next Day Extra with these 5 unreleased tracks, and you can go listen to them on andyquiet.com right now. Beck's going to release a new album in February called Morning Phase. Arctic Monkeys in the new music video are hanging out on a farm. You should check that out. Paramore Grow Up in Dallas. Live shots. Our man Stephen Anthony. And of course there's Lou Reed Dead at 71. And you know what? We're gonna jump right to the buying or not buying right now. Cha-ching! Buying or not buying? I promise you, I will eventually get sound effects. Right now I'm doing it by myself. Arcade Fire. Reflector. That's one you should buy. Why is it one you should buy? Have I listened to it a million times? No. But it's their highly anticipated new record. And I liked their other stuff, so I'd buy this. And I'm suggesting that you buy it. The Arcade Fire never disappoint. So in this week's buying or not buying, you should buy Arcade Fire Reflector. Cha-ching! Buying! I'm gonna call where I tell you what albums I want to buy, the buying or not buying segment. Then when I start talking about music venues, what am I gonna call this? Burn it or save it? I don't know. Send me your suggestions. Tweet at me at jporks what I should name the segment where I'm gonna go over music venues in New York City. Because I'm gonna tackle a couple every week because, I go to shows and I thought you might want to hear what I got to say about it. So last week, you heard me celebrating that they were going to close Roseland Ballroom. I was so happy that they're going to do this because that place is a fucking shit show. You see the show, you're a football field away. But it's okay. It's going quietly into that. It's going gently into the night or whatever, however you want to say it. So goodbye, Roseland. Bye. You know who else I want to wave goodbye to? I really want to wave goodbye to Hammerstein Ballroom. I really, really hate that place, Manhattan Center. I saw Soundgarden there in the beginning of this year. Me and Pammy went, and I was online scouting out my seats, and I picked, the row and the seat I wanted in the mezzanine because I was going to be recording. And you get up there and they tell you just sit wherever you want. Whoa, I paid $60-something for this ticket. I picked my spot. I made sure I wasn't behind a pole, and now you're telling me that I could just pick wherever I want to sit? Why don't you just make it standing room only then, in the mezzanine? So I didn't know I could just buy row Z and sit in row A. I didn't know that. And the no smoking policies kill me. No one wants to smoke in the venue, don't worry. But if the show is going to be 3 hours long, you better stamp my fucking hand and show me where the door is to go out and smoke cigarettes. I paid $60 for a seat so I can retrieve the seat when I come back in from smoking a cigarette. These venues, the idea that people are not going to smoke cigarettes is lunacy. You think people are going to wait 2 hours? 2 hours? 3 hours? To go out and smoke a cigarette? You think they care? People are shooting drugs here. It's New York. So anytime there's a venue that has a sign that says no re-entry, no smoking, no nothing, just know that the janitor at that place is going to be unclogging the toilet bowl later, getting the cigarette butts out. Because your plan failed. Just let us go out. Another thing about Hammerstein Ballroom, they take your lighter at the door. When you walk in, it's like prison. It's like you're visiting somebody. You have to empty up, there's a table, and you have to empty your pockets. It feels like you're going to visit somebody in jail, or you're going to jury duty or something. Do you want me to take off my belt too? You want pictures of my children? And then they say, do you have a lighter on you? And you say, yeah, because you're not thinking. And they take it from you. Whoa! I know that this lighter cost $1 and everything, but I'm gonna need that lighter for later. I remember a couple of years ago, I went and saw the Pixies there, and then later on in the week, I saw 311 there. Or it might have been the opposite. It might have been 311, and then the Pixies later in the week. I saw one band on a Tuesday, one band on a Saturday. And the first time I went, they're like, do you have a lighter? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, give it to us. And they're just going to take your lighter. I'm going to need that. So then when I showed up for 311, or the Pixies, whatever one was next, they said, do you have a lighter? And I said, no. And they nodded. That was okay. So you're going to take my word for it. We're using the honor system now. You have any methamphetamines on you, sir? Nope. Don't know what you're talking about. You have any designer drugs on you, sir? Nope. Don't know what you're talking about. Hammerstein is actually where I see the security guards make people take off their hats. And they're checking the brim of the hat. Now, I saw that. I said, that's a great spot to hide drugs. But Hammerstein knows about it already. They used to have wrestling at Hammerstein Ballroom. They've got these balconies that are all elegant. And they're set up for... Have you ever watched ECW? If you watch ECW, when the wrestlers like get on the balcony and they dive off to the ring, this place is perfect for that. And I bet you, I'm not even going to search YouTube, I bet you that there's been a Monday Night Raw taped at Hammerstein Ballroom. Place is good for wrestling. It's not really the best for shows. Ween on Halloween was great. Soundgarden was great. The sound is fine. I have no issues with the sound, just I have issues with the non-smoke. You can't go outside and smoke cigarettes, which is stupid. Because that's just making cigarettes get smoked in your venue. Here's the thing. We're from New York. We don't follow rules. That's it. Like, just like how there's a walk, don't walk sign on every street corner. Like, anybody looks at that. Same thing with the non-smoke. If you're going to take my lighter and you're going to tell me not to smoke, I'm going to smoke more. You're making me smoke more. Hammerstein Ballroom. And the floor section is like, it's on a slant. So, you know, and people say, oh, well, when it gets packed, everyone could see. Well, you could also see in your future a week of ibuprofen. Because your back and neck are going to be killing you after that. Wouldn't know why? Because you're standing on slanted cement. It's not grass, it's cement. It doesn't give. It doesn't have any... It sucks. So fuck Hammerstein. Burn it down. Speaking of standing on cement, I've got a double dip in Asbury Park I want to do. Because I've got one that I love, and I've got one that I hate. One that I love, that I've never even seen a show at. The Stone Pony. You may ask, how do I like it if I've never seen a show there? Because it looks like the Mercury Lounge. I mean, it's a nice, simple, there's a stage, there's pictures and autographed guitars and stuff, there's an autographed Dean Ween guitar. There's an autographed picture of Courtney Love. There's all sorts of memorabilia from all the acts that have played there in the past. And I love that venue, even though I've never seen a show there, because I've been inside there. How have I been inside without seeing a show, you ask? Well, I saw a show at the Stone Pony Summer Stage. You know what the Stone Pony Summer Stage is? It's the parking lot with a stage. Welcome to summertime! No! I hate when venues do this. I hate when you go to a venue that is just a slab of concrete with a stage in the middle, and they call that an awesome concert venue. They call that summertime tunes. It's not at all. It's a lazy attempt at making money. I can understand, you want to charge $20 for me to stand in a parking lot and watch a stage, that's fine. You're going to charge me $53 or whatever the $43 plus taxes and fees to see Social Distortion? I mean, I like Social Distortion, but my back hurts. I'm not saying I want to sit down, I'm just saying slabs of concrete are not concert venues. Let's stop pretending that they are. But during the show at the Stone Pony, I also saw me, Pam, and Janine. We saw Offspring with Neon Trees and Dead Sarah there, too. I'm thinking last September. That was an awesome fucking show. Neon Trees are awesome. I know you're thinking, Hawks? Neon Trees? What? No, they're cool, man. I like that band. And I also like that they were playing a show in they're from Utah. They're all Mormon, I think, which is actually really weird. They were playing a show by Sundance, because they're near there. And they noticed that Ticketmaster had jacked up the ticket prices from like 30 to like 50 or something. Or scalpers were reselling it at $50, making money off them. So Neon Trees canceled their fucking show. And they said, you know what? We're going to play 2 hometown shows for $10, and you can buy the tickets, here. Total respect for them for that. And they put on a good show, except it was at the Stone Pony Summer Stage, and my back still hurts from there. They have the security guards. They make you open your cigarette pack, which I got nothing to hide. I say I got nothing to hide. I didn't have anything to hide, but theoretically speaking, if I had a rolled marijuana cigarette to hide, let's just say I had to hide that somewhere. Let's just say I may have put one in my cigarette pack. Let's just say I opened my cigarette pack to the security guard, and he looked at me, nodded, and told me to have a great show. Top notch. I should have slipped in some fucking Molly and ketamine while I was at it. Shit. So Stone Pony needs to book more shows. The Stone Pony Summer Stage needs to destroy the stage and just make it a parking lot. Just park cars there. And that's what I want you to do. Asbury Park, my ass. It's like an extension of the Jersey Shore. Makes me sick. Next week I'm gonna get into my my Williamsburg venues. I don't want to cover them now. So, here's what you got to do. You have a lot of homework, kids. Children, these are your assignments for this week. What I want you to do is go to andydeershow.com. I want you to listen to everything you possibly can at that website. I want you to listen to Andy interview Jack and Dino. Over a half hour of riveting stuff. You're not going to be bored. I promise you. And Dino's really engaging. I want you to listen to the Tyler Cale Show. Because he's cool as fuck too. And I was on with him and Andy a couple weeks ago. And we spoke about this Take Over the World podcast thing that we're going to do. And we're doing it. We're doing it. And when you and my podcast, of course, you have to listen to the Jay Porks Experience. You're now rocking with the Jay Porks Experience every week. And when you do that, make sure you click the Amazon ads above, to the sides, probably below, probably inside of you. Click them all, buy stuff, because you're going to Amazon to buy stuff anyway. So stop fucking around. Just help us out. Help me out. I know for me, I don't want to work Sunday afternoon anymore and make $16 fucking dollars. Because that's what I just did. On Sunday afternoon, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., I made $16 in tips as a waiter. Please, help me escape the menial service position. I want you to also go to ConcertConfessions.com. That's for your live music, news, and reviews. For fans, by fans. I want you to come join our family. You like going to concerts? Do you? You like taking pictures? Do you like taking video? You don't need to like taking video, but if you do, that's a plus. Do you think you can write a paragraph or two? and tell us about the show and add some pictures? Do you want to do that? Journalism majors, I'm talking to you, because all of you are sitting in college doing assignments. You could easily be doing this. You know, I had an entrepreneurial journalism class once. This is a true story. It was English 480, English/communications, entrepreneurial journalism. The class project was to make a website. I swear to God that was the class project. And as easy as that sounds, I already worked for ContentConfessions.com. So I hit up Reverend Justino and I said, hey buddy, you want to do me a favor? Could I go in front of my class and pretend that I started the website? And just, for my project? And he said, sure. And I did. And I got an A. If you're a teacher, how can you let me use a website that's already up? I was done for the semester the first day. So that's like a high level English class. So if you're in one of those classes, if you're majoring in communications and you're wondering where it's going, you might as well come write for ContentConfessions.com. Because it's only spreading your words to other people. I mean, don't you want your stuff to be read? All I want is, I don't care who knows my name. I care about people read my stuff. Well, I care about who knows my name, but you're not supposed to. So come join the family. Hit me up at JPorks on Twitter. I will walk you through how to do that. Even if you want to try it out and you don't like it, maybe it's like maybe it's like an orgy, you want to try it, see if you like it. You can do that. Come try it. Go to AnnieQuiet.com, your source for quality. Go read their album reviews. Go check out all their Voodoo Experience pictures and recap. 9 Inch Nails, Pearl Jam, Arctic Monkeys, all that stuff. Paramore, all that stuff can be found at AntieQuiet.com, your source for quality. You could follow them on Twitter at AntieQuiet. You could also follow Concert Confessions on Twitter at ConcertConfess. And before I give you the 3 W's, I want to say one thing. I made a bet late Sunday afternoon as I was leaving work and looking at the football scores on NFL.com. I said to Mike, this kid I work with, I said, if the Jets are able to beat the Saints, I will have a piece of any cake you can give me. Because I've lost some weight, so I don't eat anymore. All I have is coffee and cigarettes. That's my diet. So this idea of me intaking any calories is crazy. But then I keep looking on my phone, and the Jets keep staying in the game, and wouldn't you know it, the clock hit 0, and they had the lead. So I have to, next time we're at the Cheesecake Factory, I'm going to have a piece of that Ryan Adams cheesecake. It's not actually called Ryan Adams cheesecake. It's a peanut butter cup thing. It's got Adams in the name, or it's got Adam in the name. So I always say, let me get that Ryan Adams cheesecake. And none of the 15-year-old girls I'm with know, my work crew, none of them know who Ryan Adams is. Which is fine. I have time to introduce people to things. So, shoutouts to my football team for fucking me every time they could. The one time I need them to lose so I can not eat a fucking piece of cake. And they win. And they're 5-4. And what are they going to do next week? Well, they can't lose because they're on a bye. But if they weren't on a bye, I bet you they'd lose. So my team, I lose even when they win. If you guys, here's what I also... Go to BoweryPresents.com. Click calendar. And look at those shows. Because there's a couple of shows that I'm looking at. I have no concert tickets purchased right now. But I would love to go to a show. I would love to make that happen. So if you have any suggestions for me, if you're going to a show and you want to take me with you, give me a ride. I'll do that. Because the buy you a ticket for a ride home deal is still available for you. In case you missed it, a few weeks ago, I was bitching about how the bus is bullshit going from the city to Staten Island. It's hard for me to do at 1, 2 in the morning when I have work at 9 in the morning and I have writing to do in between. So I said, listen, anyone who's got a car who likes to go to shows, you drive me home, you get your ticket. I buy you your ticket plus your fees, and I'll pay your gas. And we could even stop at White Castle on the way home. I'm buying. Damn right. The J Parks Experience is now hiring. So don't tell me that there's no jobs anywhere. I just created a job. So there's that. I want you to find me shows to go to. Also, there's one I'm really looking at. There's MGMT at the Barclays Center, December 13th. Now, you're probably sitting back thinking, whoa, Jay, no disrespect to MGMT, but I only know 2 or 3 of MGMT's songs. Well, guess what? So do I. Dinosaur Jr. is opening for them at the house that Jay-Z built. So imagine the chance to get to see Dinosaur Jr. in an arena. That'd be insane. It's like seeing Dinosaur Jr. and, oh yeah, afterwards MGMT is going to come out and play. Which is fine by me. I do not mind MGMT. I like Kids, I like Time to Pretend, and I like that other one. I so didn't want to say that other one. There's another one. I can't think of it now. Oh, it's bothering the fuck out of me. Brian Eno I like too. So that's 4. That's 4 songs I like by them. And Plenty of Fish in the Sea or whatever. Speaking of Fish, did I mention Fish played Wingsuit? No, I'm not talking about Fish. We're not doing Fish. Wanna know why? Because Fish hijacked the podcast last week by getting me suckered in to them playing an album, and they didn't play an album. Total cock tease, bro. Total. But I'm cool with it. I'm cool. I'm fine. Go to themeatpuppets.com/tour. They're coming to a town near you on the West Coast. They just finished up in Flagstaff and in Tucson, Arizona. And they're going to the Golden State. And if you go to their Facebook page, facebook.com/meatpuppets, I just put some pictures up that was sent to me from the band, and more will be sent. And there's going to be tons of pictures. You follow them on Twitter at The Meatpuppets. The Meatpuppets. Don't forget the. Never forget the. And tweet at the Meatpuppets, and maybe I'll favorite it. I'll hit the little fave star button, and they'll be like, oh my god, my favorite band, it's just, I can't retweet things unless I'm given the go ahead. So all the pictures going up from their fall tour you can find on at facebook.com/meatpuppets, at themeatpuppets.com/tour for all their tour dates. Follow them at the Meatpuppets for up to the minute information and news concerning your favorite band. And jporks.com. And jporksmusic.blogspot.com to get the notes from the podcast every week if they're needed. Like, I will listen back and I will see if I need to give you any links. So speaking of links, it's not speaking of links at all. Episode 9. Can you believe we did 9 of these? And we're going to do at least 91 more. I want to get to 100. Word on the street is that there's a gold watch at 100. That's what I heard. If there is a gold watch at 100, then I gotta go watch shopping for Andy because episode 99 is coming. I remember when he was like in the 40s. I think I remember. Anyway. It's been fun, folks. Hit me up on Twitter, at jporks. Tell me things you want to hear me complain about on the podcast. If you want to call in and talk to me, let's do that. Call me up. And I'm going to reach out to some people. I've got some people who I want to ask to be on the podcast who have done things that you may know. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to jinx anything. But next, I'm going to reach out to these people, and if they ignore me, I will tell you who I want to have on, and you can go tell them to come on. I've got 2 ideas right now of people I want to. I've got plenty of ideas of who I want to come on. So, everyone signed my petition to close down Hammerstein Ballroom. The petition that doesn't exist in my brain. I wish I had that much power. Whiskey, weed, and Warren Zevon. Late.
You are now listening to the J Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay.